So it's really nice being trusted, being given new trucks. But as you know, I'm an agency driver. So when you pick up the new ones, generally when they've done a few years, they've got dinks and bangs and scratches and marks and that's what happens. But when they're brand new like this, you have to check and double check and triple check, because obviously we all know I am a low-life scumbag agency driver, the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low, right? So, if I don't really know who drives what, but if this driver had a scratch on it, shall we say, the trick that, the core driver is a full-time driver. The core drivers will get a scratch and they'll go, oh, I won't tell anyone about it, I'll book a day off, and then I'll come back afterwards and I'll say, the scumbag low life, worst of the worst, lowest of the low, scratched my truck. So when you get these, you have to check and double check and triple check. There's no marks, no scratches, no new nothing on them. Okay, it works against you, because when you've got a hard work truck, a dent or a scratch doesn't go anywhere. You don't say nothing and I don't know nothing about it. That's the score. Yeah. But on these new ones, it can work against you. You check them, you double check them. This is absolutely immaculate, because as you know, it's only a few weeks old. It's only a few weeks old, so yeah, make sure you haven't missed anything, especially down around the bottom here on the blind side in tight places, because they go the same place as the shitty trucks, and you don't feel them. You see, you don't feel. Sometimes it could be a scratch from a pallet, or sometimes you really don't know that you've rubbed or touched something, and you don't spot it. So anyway, this is absolutely immaculate. Not a dent, not a mark, not a scratch, not a damn thing on it, no. Which is good, isn't it? Yeah. It'll soon become second-hand, unfortunately. After probably 2 or 3 years, you'll begin to see them. But that's the way it is. The poor things work hard. It's too nice to work, but obviously it's got to work, because it's got to pay its bills, hasn't it? It's got to be paid for. But anyway, a nice, fantastic. And we'll keep an eye on the exhaust. Look, that flexible exhaust thing there, that rusts up to, we'll see how long. Look, lovely clean engine. We'll find a scrubby one, we'll find a 5 or a 6 year old one, and the poor thing will be worked hard. But anyway, this one is absolutely spot on. Yeah, and my arse is now covered. The problem is, if I do scratch it, it's only me to blame. Ooh, that's pretty quick. They're going to sit there, sit down there. So I can hear you saying, new Reggie, how new? It's halfway through the year. 23 plates. It's not. It's 3,746 kilometers new. Oh, and that's even less in mileage. Yeah, what a beauty. What a beauty. So the dash is digital. It's a lovely, lovely dash, and the red comes round here when the red ignition light comes on. We've got a screen here with press buttons on it. So let's just see what it's telling us. So we've got 700 and we've got just above half a tank. We've got 752 miles left in the tank. We've just arrived here, so we've put it on brake. So we've got 6 minutes of brake gone so far. We're doing 8.5. So I've improved that. That was 849. So I've got a point extra on that one. I've increased that slightly. We're still only doing 8.5 to the gallon. That will improve when it gets a bit older, gets a bit of mileage, breaks in a bit. That will improve slightly. But at the moment we're lugging heavy boxes about. Takes its toll, a full load. There's my driving time. There's the speed. If it sees a speed limit, a speed sign, it reads speed signs. Temperature. The AdBlue is full. We've done 2,363 miles. Here's the revs. We're in. Tells us what gear we're in. This is the anti-collision thing. Temperatures there. It was showing us there just a minute ago. There's that many buttons to press. I don't press nothing. I try not to use anything until I get used to it. So we've got our exhauster here, and our brake is here. Our windscreen wipers are there. The phone, the dash, this is all, yeah. So it's automatic shutdown. So look, we haven't been going very long, have we? It's going to shut down automatically, but I don't like doing that. We'll shut it down ourselves. Yeah. So it's really, really lovely. And all that can go on here as well. There's our music. There's the telephone. Computer navigation on this one. Vehicle settings, system settings, and you go home. I like to keep it on the clock. As you know, we are governed by a tachograph, and we are run by the VOSA. So this is the tachograph machine. You put your tachocard in, that records everything. We are monitored by the minute. We are actually monitored by the minute. And as you can see, we're on rest at the moment because we're sitting here waiting. We're waiting to go on the bay. We're number 4. There's a truck just gone on. There's a truck here waiting, and there's a truck here waiting. So we're on rest. But that's other work. And obviously when you turn your wheels, it's driving. So my biggest problem is that I forget to press the damn button. I forget to put it. I come here, I press it on rest, and you only have to move, 2 or 3 foot, and it'll go back on driving, and then it'll keep it on there, or it'll go to other work. So my biggest problem is pressing the button, and the tachograph tells lies. It tells lies in that it says I've been driving. My infringements are let's have a look. Driving. There we are. Driving without a valid brake for 6 hours. What a crock of lies that is. It's because the way the machine adds things up. So 12th of the 4th. 12th of the 4th. 12th of the 4th. Here we are, look. I started from home and came back to home. There's my start mileage. Kilometers. So I started at 6:06. That's what time I put the tachograph in. And I ended at 6:15. I drove for 5.25 hours. So that's still square wheels. I've had a rest and a duty start. So it's crazy. It's because I just haven't pressed the button. I've either pressed it and moved or pressed it and switched the ignition on. I mean, it doesn't happen on this machine, but sometimes, look, we're here, we turn it off, the tachograph, in this particular case, is staying on rest. Sometimes it'll move around, or you put it on rest, you switch the ignition on to raise the window or to lower the window, and the damn thing changes, comes off brake and goes on to other works. Some of these tachographs are a trap, you know. I mean, it's not like the old tachographs. Do you remember the old tachographs? You had to press it 7 times to get it to a certain place for it to register. Yeah. So they're not the easiest things, at least with the dial. With the old tacho discs, you could see the distance you travelled, you could see the speed you were doing on the disc, you could see when you were stopped, and I think it was 20 miles up, 20 miles down, and the little line would go along, and you could see, and you could understand. And you boys that are reading this will see that I haven't driven for 6 hours, over 6 hours non-stop. It's a case that I just haven't pressed the button on the tacho, or I've pressed the button, I've had to move out the way, or I've turned the ignition on and it's changed it. It's madness. But we're monitored by the minute. Let's have a look at the 19th of the 4th. Where's the 19th? The 19th. How many hours did I do? 7 hours driving. So if you just think of it this way, 7 hours driving, right? I started my shift at 6:05 and I ended my shift nearly 12 hours later, but I've only done 7 hours driving. So all that other time I've been square wheeled, I've been stopped. So how can I have driven for 6 hours non-stop? I've got nearly 3 hours of other activities. I've been on rest for an hour and 40 minutes. My duty time was 11 hours. So in the period of 11.5 hours, and I've had enough rest, in a period of 11.5 hours, and I've only driven for 7 hours. Let's follow that column up. I've only driven for 7 hours. How the hell, and it's the 19th, wasn't it? How the hell can they say that I've worked for more than 6 hours without a break? They're a trap. They're a bloody nuisance. I know I haven't driven for 4.5 hours without a break. You don't in this job. You do a lot of sitting around in queues. You do a lot of sitting around waiting to get loaded, unloaded on a container. If I'd driven for that long, I would have been going from Scotland and I would never have got home. It's just but you're monitored by the minute. And if, for instance, now if you take a break too early. So if you do, you're meant to take a 45-minute break, but if you took, say, 44 minutes break, that break doesn't count. So you can stop for 44 minutes, and if you don't go to that 45th minute and it doesn't record it on the head, the rest of those minutes are wiped out and it don't count for nothing. Then it says you haven't had a break. The BAM thing lies. It just cracks me up, they do, these tachos. I'm not against them. I mean, they record everything you do. They record your speed. Now with the boxes, the brain boxes in these trucks now, if you're in a 30 zone and you're doing 40 and a kid steps out in front of you and you kill them, they know you were doing 40 miles an hour. And in that itself, I haven't got a problem at all. They can even analyze your tachograph. They can analyze your route. They know which junction you came off. They know how many miles you went for and what speed you were doing. So after doing so many miles, you would have gone here and you would have turned left or right. They know where you've been, and in and of itself, I haven't got a problem. Was it the Yorkshire Ripper? He was a truck driver, and it was his. They found him out by his tachographs. Found him out in the end, because they knew where he was and what he was, well, where he was at particular times. So it is a good thing. I haven't got a problem with the tacho itself, except they even like looking at this. What the hell does all this mean? It means nothing. I just sign the bottom and carry on. Look at this then. Brand new, a truck full of brand new pallets of these bottles, whatever they are, being scrapped off. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I wonder what was in them, or what was meant to be in them. Anyway, the whole pallet's been scrapped off, so he's just took the plastic wrap off it, and now they're just going to throw them in the glass bottle pile. There were coffee jars, I'd be there with my begging bowl. You're going to tin coffee jars, but they're bottles, aren't they? Some sort of, yeah, bottle of something. So here's another 2 packs of bottles, I guess, about to go into the bottle scrap heap. Oh, if only they were coffee jars or tea jars or jars that I use for nuts and bolts. I'd be in the right place at the right time, but obviously I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time because they're bottles. Yeah, we are. Yeah, what we're going to do now, we're going to tip them up, I think. Tip them up and throw them out. Yeah. Nearly. Next time. One more go. Here we go. Send them. Yeah, tip them off. I guess it's quicker than actually. There we are. It's quicker to take the cardboard out than to take the bottles out. That's what we're loading today. Look like pallets of plastic, all that sort of mushed up plastic stuff. Yeah. That's what we're loading today. I don't know where it's going. There's all this sort of plasticky type stuff. So here I am waiting to join this queue. I don't really want to undo my box now because I've got this U-turn to take. I'm sure if I take it nice and steady, it's never going to fall off. But there's always that one chance, isn't there? So I'm not going to undo my box until I go around the corner. Then I'll join the queue, I'll join the queue, and then when I get under the crane, I'll be thinking, oh, did I undo the box? Did I undo the box? I better get in the queue and undo my box. But I don't really want to do it before I take this U-turn to join the back of the queue.